Hey Canva people, how are you doing? My name is Benjamin, and in this video, what we are simply going to do is to create this sweet and fantastic design inside of Canva. And without any further ado, let's jump straight into Canva and let's get started. So here we are in Canva. The first thing I'm going to do is to create a new design, and the dimension is the 1080 by 1350. So just make sure you're finding Instagram post. Okay, so that's all you have to find and click on it. Once everything is loaded, you actually have to wait for everything to be loaded. And as part of it, I have the link to the resources I'm going to use in the description box below. So make sure to check it out. All right. Okay, everything is loaded now. So first of all, we'll go into our uploads and I would pull the first image. Okay, so this is the first image. And if you want to use any other football player, what you can simply do is to go on Instagram. That's what I usually do. So I will just pull this up. Let me just bring it here. Okay, so what I usually do is I go on Instagram. This wasn't even part of the plan, but let's just tackle it. Okay, so Instagram has to load quickly, and I just went to Chelsea. Okay, so Chelsea, and once the page was open, I went through to find some of the images they have. From here you sometimes get quality images. So if I want any of the players, I can, for example, if I wanted to use what's his name, Cowell, I can just use him. Okay, and I have this extension I use which is called a save from net. Okay, so that's how I got the image, and you can also do the same. If not, you can use Google. Make sure you're setting the filter to high quality images so that you can find quality images from there. But just that it's not really good sometimes. Anyway, that's just about it. Back into our design. What we want to first of all do is to change the background. Okay, so let's come to the background and let's change it to maybe black. Okay, for the sake of certain things we want to be doing. Then come to remove background, and it should remove the background of the image very nicely. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is you should have the Stamford Bridge image. Okay, if you use the link in the description, but I'm quickly going to find it. All right, so this is the image, and we'll just right click, come to layer, come to show layers. Okay, make sure it's behind your favorite player just like this, and increase the size. Okay, you can use any other stadium of your choice as well. So once we have this, we can also remove the background, and it's going to remove mainly the skies for us. Okay, so you can see it has done that exactly what we mentioned. So we would increase the size more to something like this. Now, what we want to do next is to come into element. Okay, and then element will search for pitch. Okay, so that's what we are going to search for. And there are so many images you find, but come into photos. Okay, and you should see this photo. This photo should be one of the options you find. If you don't find it, then just search for football pitch with bright lights. Okay, football pitch with bright lights. That's what you have to search for. So we'll quickly add it just like this, and we'll just crop it down, just like this, and we'll rotate the pitch like this, and would increase the size. You get it? Okay, that's very, very easy. Now, the pitch is in front of the player, and that's not supposed to be the case. So, layer, show layers, then we'll just bring it down. Okay, so it should be beneath the player so that we can have something like this. So, he can be here, and we can also increase the size. Okay, and just by using proportion, we can bring this down a little bit. Okay, so this is what you should also have. Now, the next thing we want to do is to add some text. So press T on your keyboard to add the text. And since he's called Nicholas Jackson, we'll just start with a Nico. Okay, so Nicolas. And we are also going to change the font type. Okay, not Hiko. Look at what I just did. Nico. Okay, so Nico, and we'll come to font. And I would go into some of the recently used fonts I use. Okay, and this one is called the Placard Next. I don't know. I think compressed or something like that. Let's see. To Placard Next Compel. To Placard Next Compressed. I think that's the name. Okay. Then would increase the size nicely just like this. Okay. So increase the size and just bring it here. And this should also go behind Nicholas. Okay. So we would come to send backward. Okay. And this is what we should have. Now we want to also have the Jackson. So just spell the other name if a player has another name. all right, and we'll make it all caps. But in this case, because of what we want to do, we'll create a new page and we'll just move the Jackson here. Okay. Now increase the size and make sure it's big, filling everything. Now head on to share, come to download, okay, and download. Make sure you're checking on transparent background. That is what you have to choose. And the page, we only want the second page. Okay, so then click on done. That's all we want. All right. So download, and it should download for us beautifully. All right. So my image has been downloaded, and I'm just going to drag it into our design, and we have it here as an image. Okay. So just move it here, and I'll just delete the second page. Now, this is what we want to do. Make the size bigger. Okay. Just make it big like this, and we'll just place it right here. So make the size bigger and just bring it down just like this. Now follow me to apps. Under apps, make sure you're finding reshape. Okay. So search for reshape, and you should see this icon, beautiful reshape. Okay. So you can just click on it. After it loads beautifully, there are 4 options you have. You have the distort, we have the skew, perspective, and warp. But what we need is the distort. Okay. So once you click on it, this is what you should have. You should see some small dots appearing on the image. Okay. So follow what I'm about to do. So we move the first one down a little bit so we can have full control of it. And the one on the left, we are just going to move it closer, and we are going to do the same for the one on the right. Okay. Now to make sure the perspective is good, we use the center one just like this. Okay. Now we want to also move this side upwards just like this. All right. So you can see what I'm doing. So position it here and just make sure it's straight. Okay. By gauging it with this, with the Nicholas, because the text is straight, we want to make sure that the Jackson, the top is also straight like that. All right. So we would also move it up like this a little bit. And I think this should work. Okay. So something like this, and just make sure everything is looking good. All right. All right. Okay. So this works. Now, the next thing we are going to do is to click on save, and our, image should be saved like this. Now, before we do anything, come back into apps to make sure you're finding blend image. Okay. Blend image. This is what you should look for. Okay. So once you find it and it's done loading, this is what you see. So just to ensure we are working on the Jackson, make sure it's selected, then click on blend selected image. There are 2 dots, okay, which is going to mean that the blending starts from the bottom to the top, but we want to move it the other way around. Okay, so something like this. So the dot at the bottom goes up and the one at the top comes down. Okay, and this is what we have at the moment. So you can just keep it something like this, which should be fine. All right, then we can come here and click on save. Once we do that, we have our image ready to be used. Okay, so crop the image and increase the size. This is what we have at the moment. All right. So Jackson is here, and the Nicholas is also here. We can also increase the size of the Nicholas just to make sure everything is looking good. Now the Jackson also has to go back. So we come to layer, then send backward. All right. So you can do that until it's behind the Nicholas guy over here. But just to save time, I'll just go in here and we can see everything is looking good as we want it to be. Okay. Now, the next thing I want us to do is to come to element, and under element, search for clouds. Okay. Once you come to cloud, there are so many images over here, but we can also go into search for dramatic clouds. Okay. Just to find any dramatic image, and we can have it here. Increase the size, right click, come to, what did I say? Right click, come to layer and just do send to back. Okay. And this is how it should look over here. Right. So you can see how things are looking right now. Now I want the Nicholas to hit the Jackson. So we'll bring it down until it hits. Okay. And it's looking very plain. I just don't like how it looks. So let's come into element again and let's search for light. Okay. And the light will just go into graphics and everything should load beautifully. So there's this type of light we are looking for. Lens flare light. You'd have to take your time to find it. Okay, we are not rushing with this tutorial, so just take your time and find it. And you can increase the size. Okay, then bring it down over here. Then what we can do is we can send it to the back. If per chance some of the light are not working, you can just take your time to find any light that works for you. Okay, so you see we have another option over here. We can also increase the size and we can do so many things with it. But I think this one also works. Okay, and there's even one option over here, okay, which I think can work perfectly for us. Okay, so you can see there's so many options. Just make sure you're choosing what works. So this is vertical, and we are just going to make it horizontal. If you're struggling with the rotation, just come to position, come to arrange, and make sure you're finding rotation over here. Okay, so that's all you need to do. And we can also place this here and increase the size so much more. Okay, so this is what we have. And the Nicholas guy should be in front of everything. So you can see what we have. I can duplicate it and even have this here like this, but it's looking too funny. So we'll just keep, just one should be fine. Now click on the Nicholas, come to effects and come to neon. Okay, so you see what is happening over here. Then we want to keep things dramatic but make things look realistic. So he looks like he's floating in the air. Okay, so come into element again and search for shadow, not show. Shadow. Okay, so shadow and scroll down. But the type of shadow I really want you to find is a black shadow gradient, but it should look like a curve. Okay, this type of shadow. Okay, so we'll reduce the size and we'll just bring it somewhere here. Okay, so and you can use your arrow key to move things in. I'm going to zoom in a little bit just to make sure I'm getting things right. Okay, then with this one too, we can, just place it over here and bring it in front of him, just as if he has a magic finger, because he scored a goal, you know. Then what I want us to do next is I want us to edit or just to make this image look better. So click on the image, come to edit, and in edit, make sure you're finding adjust. So there are a few things I want us to do. The first thing is we want to make it a bit brighter, want to make it brighter. And the contrast would increase it a little bit, somewhere like 6 should be fine. The highlight, we can increase it a little bit. Okay, the extra light. And what we can do, there's some whites in there. We want to increase those whites. And the other thing is the saturation can come up a little bit plus the vibrance. Okay, just to make the colors pop. Then the last thing is the clarity. Okay, just to make things look better. So this is what I want us to have at the moment. Now, I also want us to add some team logos. Okay, so come into apps and make sure you're finding brand. Just search for brand. I've forgotten the name. Yeah, brand fetch logo. So once you come to brand fetch logo, all you need to do is to set, if it's Chelsea, just search for Chelsea. Okay, and you should get the original logos of Chelsea. I already have them, but I'm just showing you. Okay, so we can I will just go into upload and I have the Chelsea and Manchester here. And I got them from Brand Fetch. All right. So this is what I am gonna do. Oh my God. Okay, so we have the two selected and we can reduce size. We can place it. Look at what I just did. So we can either place it here because it's more visible over here than at the top. I think so. Yeah. I think we can just leave it somewhere here. Okay. And would increase it. The Manchester looks a bit smaller. So would increase the size to something like this. All right. And we can just put some information there. So I'll press T again on my keyboard and I'll just press a V. Okay, right now we can't see it. So I'll increase the size. Even with the size, I'm not able to increase the size. So I'll increase the size and change the color to white. And I must as well just change the typeface also. Okay, so we'll just scroll down. I saw something like Plex. I think it's a cool font we can use. Okay, yeah, you can decide, but I would want to use this font. Okay, So we have this over here, and we can duplicate it, bring it down here, and we'll just say Chelsea. This we all know the logos already. So we just the venue is the Stamford Bridge. Okay, so Stamford Bridge. Then we'll duplicate this, bring it down over here like that. Okay, and the time might be maybe 08 p.m. Let's say it's 8 p.m. to 8 p.m. GMT. So GMT as well. And that can also be here. Okay. So this is what we have. I think the text is looking too big. That's what I think. So we select all of this and move them up over here. And I may just reduce the text size a little bit. Okay. And place them here. So this is what I can do. But if you want, you can just do other thing. Now, if we want to make this extra dramatic, okay, we can just maybe bring this down. And we can add extra players behind the Chelsea stadium. Okay, so this is what we can do. Let's go back into Instagram. Okay, let me just pull my browser in here again. Okay, then I'm just going to go to Instagram, and the Instagram we can find interesting stuff. So we'll go into Chelsea. Okay, so Chelsea, and in this case we can use more photos of Nicholas Jackson if we want. More photos of Nicholas Jackson, or you can use other Chelsea player. But I think because we have Nicholas Jackson, we can just add more photos of him. All right. So we can see we have 2 extra images, and what I'm simply going to do is to remove the background of them. So you also have to just take your time and find nice images you can use. Okay. So I will do this quickly. Nice. So the first one has been removed, and let's remove the second one as well. Good. They've all been removed now. So we can increase the size. Okay. Select everything over here, and we can just bring it down. Then we would also just have to move this up. So we'll just move this up a little bit. Then Nicholas Jackson, this one can go to the back. We can see how it's looking. And we can also increase this one as well. Okay. Place it here and also send it to the back. And we can see how things are looking. So just to make things pop, copy the style of this, paste it here. Nice. Copy the style of this, and also, click it here, and it should look very good. So this is what we actually have at the moment. This extra part wasn't planned. So, it wasn't like I scripted the video and all of that. It wasn't planned at all. And I just hope we were able to crush it and make it look better. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had some fun designing with me. The name is Benjamin, and always remember, there is no limit to creativity. You can get Canva Pro for free in the description box below. Make sure to check it out, and I should see you in my next video. Peace.